Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. Today we are going to explain the pros and the cons for nomadic versus settler playstyle in 7 Days to Die. To start this off, I will explain the difference between nomadic and settler playstyle while we are watching a recording of a nomadic playstyle Horde Night. Nomadic in short is a term for players that move around the map more than most players. It relies more on knowledge of the map, inventory management, along with great combat skills and knowing when to engage or retreat from a threat. Nomadic playstyle tends to become harder and harder the further the game goes along. Settler playstyle is a term for players that rely upon building a strong base that can be easily defended and using things in game like farming, mining, forging to acquire a steady source of food and resources to become mostly self-sufficient. This playstyle is the complete opposite of nomadic playstyle, which encourages constant movement, scavenging, and hunting. This playstyle becomes easier into the late game than nomadic playstyle. Then, the pros and cons. So, we know the differences, but what are the pros or the cons? Now let's just start with the pros on the nomadic playstyle, shall we? There's no stress in finding a safe place to live as a nomad player. You go loot, you do quests, you can use nighttime to make a quick campfire in a place you looted or even on a rooftop and cook some food to stay warm. Sometimes you finish a quest, a clear or a fetch just before nighttime and you can just stay there until you are ready to go again. Whether you stay for the night or you go out before the morning and go scavenge at night, that's all up to you. There's not a lot of need for resource grinding, which can be very time consuming, especially early game when you don't have the right tools. When I play Nomad, I don't craft anything myself, except things that can be crafted on the character like duct tape or I can't think of anything else. So I sell most of my resources I get, including the most resources needed in the settler playstyle, like duct tape, mechanical parts, etc. So that means no stress about having to find certain things in the world to be able to craft it. Then that brings us to the third advantage of playing this way, which is you make a lot of cash doing these quests and selling everything you really don't need as a nomad, which also makes sure you are able to buy a vehicle from the trader pretty early on in the game, which means more storage and, of course, weapons and ammo. With having a good vehicle and weapons in early game, you can do a lot of quests very easy and fast, and you can get out of dodge quickly when needed, which also brings in fast experience and cash again. So the first 3 Horde nights, you guys, are pretty much a breeze in Nomad playstyle, just because of the fact there's no grinded needing for too many resources. You can just take over a building and make one way up and reinforce that entry with concrete and rebar frames. Yeah, you probably bought this at a trader. And just line them up. You can melee them. You probably will have the weapons. You have everything available without having to worry if the base is going to hold up, because you won't be staying there anyway. So if the base gets destroyed, oh well, it happens. It does get a little harder further you get in the game because of the game stage, but for sure it's possible fighting on the street. Just make sure you have all the mega crushes and coffee you can hold, because you are going to need the stamina. Another advantage for me personally is I don't have to be in a certain spot when the blood moon hits. You know, you found a new town and you want to go scavenge, but you have to leave for now because Horde Night's coming and you got to get to your base because you fight Horde Night at your base. These are, for me, the biggest advantages of a nomad playstyle. Let me know in the comments down below, you guys, if you can think of other pros or cons. On the other side, there are cons to all of this too. For instance, you have no home base, which means no permanent storage, although you can have some chests scattered around town. You also have to make sure you only keep the most essential stuff in your inventory, like food, repair kits, ammunition, weapons, etc. The rest will be sold or just thrown away. This does take some practice to know what should I keep for selling, what's going to make me the most money, etc. Now, another con is There's no mining needed and not a lot of building required, which to some people is a huge part of the game. For some people, it's even the biggest part of the game. Now, another thing would be that you have to plan a little bit ahead, as in, which building are you going to use for Horde Nights, or are you going to fight Horde Nights on the streets? You got to make sure you have your mega crushes, you have your food, enough healing items, etc. So in conclusion, you guys, these are a few of the pros and cons of nomadic playstyle that I can think of. Please, like I said before, let me know in the comments down below, what is your playstyle? Do you like nomad playstyle more? Do you like settler more? Do you do a little bit of both? Me, myself, I started out mostly playing a combination of two playstyles with a few makeshift bases in different locations, and I prefer the nomad playstyle. Plus, I'm horrible at building. It's no secret to any of you guys here. Now, I want to tell you guys, thank you for watching, and remember, gaming is a way of unwinding. Make sure you have fun playing the games you love. And I will catch you next time. Bye.